Elite Facts presents
Top 10 Creepy Victorian Post-Mortem Photos.
10.
This poor lady was the victim of a burn incident. It has obviously scarred her face and also done untold damage to her lungs at the time too. The weird thing is, the rest of her looks immaculate. And why is she so willing to pose despite these times not being accepting? Well, it's because she's already dead.
9.
The practice of taking snaps with recently deceased family members was heavily done. Look at the child's legs here, dangling off the small futon. The child behind is very much alive and is posing with one of his siblings who has sadly died. The lying down of the dead was a trick used widely.
8.
Another telltale way to determine just who it is in the photo who was the deceased member is where their gaze lay. Look at this image. The entire family looks at the lens whilst the lady looks off into nowhere. It's not possible to get a dead person's eyes to look a certain way.
7.
One of the more harrowing images is when not one member of the family is alive and the image is of an entire dead family. It's unknown just what tragically took all of their lives, but it must have been horrid to kill them all.
6.
The Victorian era didn't make exception for anyone, and if the recently deceased was a child, then they still took the image. What made it worse was if the family had other children. They were forced to pose with their dead sibling. Here, you can see the girl on the end with her eyes closed as the rest look on.
5.
It was not always the case of lying down the deceased. The body was often propped up on stand-like devices to give the appearance of them still being alive. The whole point of these images was to have a lasting photograph to remember the dead by.
4.
One of the more creepy pictures here, as the unfortunate death of this young girl had her dolls and toys around her as she was pictured. The dolls add to the creepiness of this whole practice.
3.
It was also hard to avoid the rigidness of the deceased. Sometimes adding family members made it all more noticeable. You can see the young girl here looking straight as an arrow and not as the same place as the lady.
2.
You could argue that there's no quicker way to scar your child for life than making her pose, even hold hands with their deceased sibling. And yet, it happened all the time. Here, you can see the dead child sat on a chair while the other child is holding their hand.
1.
This image might appear like a creepy reaper-like person is behind the child, but it's because the baby is so small, it wouldn't be able to prop up without help. So the parents would often go behind their seat and hold onto the body to stop it from slipping over.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.